and CEO of Girl Your Money Matters, affectionately known as the Gym, where we have all sorts of exercises to help you get financially fit. And you do on this thing. This is March. We are celebrating and highlighting and spotlighting women who are out here doing the darn thing. It's Women's History Month. I'm all about my girls. Listen, I have been bringing on some first for me in my life and my business. And tonight is no different. But before we get started, I'm going to bring up our resident DJ, Tony Sanchez, who is always here to support. What's up, DJ Tony? Say hi to the people.
Hey, what's going on, my queen? What's going on? Hey, everybody, how you doing? Boss lady in the house. I know she's somewhere creeping,
She's
lurking in
somewhere
the background.
listening,
I
cruising,
know
and
her here. I
grooving.
know her here. I'm excited about this one right here tonight,
Listen,
man.
Tony, you just
Mm,
don't know how excited I am. You know how as a student, you've been excited, you get excited when the teacher says your name, points you out, calls you up to the front of the room. Well, this
mm-hmm.
one here has been my first of many, and I am so excited to have her here. She is, you know what? Let me come on and bring her up. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
give a
Some
round of
on,
applause for
some
Miss
on.
Latifah Bird.
Hey,
What's
hey,
up,
hey.
Lisa?
You
Yes.
guys are hot. Thanks so much for having me on. I
Latifah,
appreciate it.
listen, it's some things and some people you just don't forget in life, right? And you are one of those for me. I tell you all the time how excited I am to work with you and your community. But in case you guys didn't know, Nativa and I met in a group on Facebook. You know, that's how everybody meet these days. But this was
Yep.
back in early part of 2010. Okay, 2010. And Nativa has watched me grow. I've watched her grow. I've watched her just boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. It do it just boom, boom, shakalaka. And so, as you all have heard in my story, I was helping women in 2010 to 2017 really get become homeowners. They were finding out things about their budget. But Nativa was the first, and I mean the wait a minute, hold on. Y'all know I don't do nothing. I'm extra. Okay. I'm gonna have to fix the camera so y'all can see the fan. But you heard what it did. It was the clack, 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 clack. She was the first to tap me on the shoulder and say, "Man, put a price on this.
Did the clackety clack.
Put a price on this." And it was at that point where I stopped doing community service and volunteer work for the those that I cared about. She really broke it down for me to say, this is how much time you're spending away from your family. This is how much time you're pouring into others. And when all those things are said and done, you are a business owner. Now act like one. I was like, I have never been so invigorated and inspired in my life. And so, and the fact that she from my hometown, home of the Sears Tower,
Shot
Chicago,
to her.
that's it.
Yes.
Shot
Icing on
to
the cake. Listen, Tiva, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Say hey to the people.
Hey, hey, hey. Thanks so much for having me. And you know what? I'm glad that you listen because there are a lot of people when you can like see something in them and you thought you were just putting people in homes. I was like, no, you transforming finances, you're getting them to home ownership. As a result, they're fixing their credit. And people will free you as long as you're so good. You give it for free. You're the best. But what we don't realize is that the gifts that we're given, gifts that we're blessed with, it's okay to also use those gifts to rise up out of everything that we've been begging, praying, desiring, and dreaming for. And
Amen.
so
Ooh.
those
Amen.
gifts, even though that was deep and embedded, that was your passion, your purpose, that's also where you can also profit from.
Absolutely. And listen, the thing that I have done is learn from the best. I have learned from the best. So listen, I don't play with it. So we're gonna get into it because Nativa got a story to tell. I had to make sure they could see the fan. They listen, clackety clack, clack, clack. She has a story to tell. And honestly, anybody that you see out here giving advice, giving you direction, some things you can learn textbook, right? So many of us go to school, we learn everything textbook, but you can't become a doctor until you have your residency. And in your residency, you're hands on. You're actually performing surgery. You're actually treating people in the emergency room. You're actually putting your hands on patients. Okay. There are some things that when you're talking about someone's finances, how to do a budget, those things come from real life experiences. And I mean, whether it's the ups, it's the downs, it's the down, the down, the down, down, down. Listen, I have told my story. I have shared with you all that it's not what they call me. Because at some point in time, society called me a loser. I was a divorced single mother who had filed bankruptcy twice. Okay. I didn't get it right the first time, so I went back and did it again. But there are lessons in those things that I learned because my situation was different each time. It was different each time. And I walked away with a different lesson from the time before. And now I don't ever have to walk down that path again. But would I be afraid to? Hell to the no. I would not. But now that I know better, I do better. And in my lessons that I learned, I turn around and can share with some of you so that you don't have to learn and experience those same lessons. So Nativa, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it because the purpose of the Brownstone Worldwide is to help change the narrative of our Black and Brown community. If our story is still being told wrong in 30, 40, 50 years, it's our fault, not theirs. So Nativa, this is what I love. Nativa is doing her thing. I'm not gonna tell y'all where she lives. I ain't gonna tell. I'm gonna let her have the pleasure of that. But let me just say, it's tropical. It's tropical. So tell the people, what was that proverbial moment that caused you to fire your 9 to 5?
My 9 to 5. Can I just say I was never a good employee?
Wait a minute, y'all. You heard what she said.
Wait a minute.
She said
You said you was never, like, ever.
So if you, now that I'm a boss, right, I know what a good employee is. It's not necessarily somebody who's the best, who's high performing, who is excellent at what they do. That's me all day.
Right.
But I was also the one that was sitting there seething because I felt like this is not where I was supposed to be.
Okay.
Like I couldn't, like, you could not pay me to do overtime unless I had a goal that I had to hit and needed that OT. I was not the one that was going to volunteer to go over and beyond. I was the one that was going to self-extend her lunch hour. I was the one that was going to take off, and call off sick and had multiple funerals to go to get additional sick days. Like I was.
Don't tell them all the tricks. Don't tell them. I might have some balls off the cookie. Don't tell them all the tricks.
So, and it wasn't that I didn't like to work, but when you know that there's something inside of you that can be, you remember we talked about purpose and passion earlier?
Yes.
It wasn't even about helping be a part of other people's goal. It's being appreciated. It's being valued. It's being in control of your time. It's knowing that you're not making enough. It's seeing newer people come in and making more. It's seeing people who are politicking. I actually had a manager tell me you would benefit more if you will politic more. And I kept saying, I'm number one in everything. All of the metrics, I'm number one. But I have to take time out of my day and come and do lunch and do happy hour with you. I don't want to spend any more time with you.
That's right.
I want control of my time.
Right.
That's right.
And so as I sat in job after job, wondering out, why am I miserable? I was like, I got to find something else to do. I have to find something else to do. Now, fortunately for me, I have my dad to look to. He's done real estate. He's been a CPA. On the flip side, my mom has always worked a job. And so I saw two worlds because they are divorcees. Neither of them looked particularly sexy, but I knew that one had more time than the other. So then it became, what can I do? I tried the multi-level marketing thing. That wasn't me because I'm an introvert. So me trying to go out and prospect, that just wasn't going to happen. And mainly, and I'm going to tell you this, mainly because I didn't believe in what I was selling. I was just looking at the money and what the income potential that I can make. And so there was the gentleman, a family friend. He owned a small real estate practice. And he told my sister, I can help you build up your real estate, your real estate business if you come work for me. My sister was like, I was like, I'll do it. And when I got into real estate, that was literally my first passion. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. And the main thing that I loved about it was being able to, and I say this even today, transform the faces of ownership in our community.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. Now we're going to migrate us to ownership.
Yeah.
How did I get into finances? Because a lot of us can't get into these homes, even when dope opportunities arise, because of our finances. And like you, I was doing a financial part for free, and a lot of realtors do this. We do it, a lot of loan officers do this. We do it for free because we know we're going to make more money on the sale of the house.
Right.
But we're relying on future income potential, but we're still doing the work. And so then I had to sit back. It was actually somebody who checked me and was like, oh, I made a lot of money doing credit repair. I was like, it even dawned on me to charge people because you do make many more thousands on the sale when you finally found them the house. Right. But by actually making this into a business, I also established recurring income, which allowed me to kiss the 9 to 5 quicker, faster, better. Because now I had a recurring revenue happening in addition to, and this was a recession, okay? In addition, this is actually before the recession when I first quit. We'll talk about the next quit later. Sometimes you got to go back, right? But I had a book of business. I had recurring revenue, and that allowed me to quit the first time.
Okay. And so so we had entrepreneurship was something I found by accident. Okay. So years ago. So Brandon was probably 3. So we're talking 2001, 2002-ish. Around that time, we were involved in a house fire. Okay. And I worked at that time for a privately held collection agency. So I've got, even before I came to where I am now, I had a whole 10-year span or more in the collection services, working primarily for privately owned corporations. They went out and got the contract. We did the third party calling. And so it was 10 years, not 10 years with one company though. See, when I hit the ceiling at one, I found another one. Bye, deuces, I'm out. But never was being an entrepreneur. That never called until that house fire happened. And I had to go back to work. My son was still in the hospital as a result of his injuries. So I get to work and, my coworkers are, hey, welcome back. I've got a note on my desk to come see the owners. That's how, they worked on site. So I'm like, okay, that makes me feel good. The owners care enough about me to see how I'm doing. So I walk across this little big warehouse floor. The secretary jumps up. She said, I'm so glad you're okay. I'm so glad the baby is okay, and blah, 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 blah. I was like, well, I got this note to come see them. She said, oh yeah, they're really looking forward to connecting with you and talking to you and seeing if there's anything they can do to help. But you're going to have to come back next week. They're in Hawaii. I'm sorry, what? What you had said? They're in Hawaii. So now I'm walking back across this floor. Now it's like the slow man walk. And I'm looking around at all these people, phones hanging up, phones ringing. They're talking, they're pressing buttons. And when you're pressing buttons, that means you're processing payments. And I'm like, these people are in Hawaii. And all I want to do is be at the hospital with my son. And now I got an attitude. But you know what? I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at me because I'm not in a position, I'm not in a place where I have something that works for me while I go take care of what I need to do. And sometimes being on a beach in Hawaii is very good self-care. Okay? Yes. Very good self-care. But because my son is sick, I need to be somewhere else and I'm stuck here on this job. I resigned 2 weeks later.
Wow.
I resigned 2 weeks later. Full time to go back to school. I didn't know what I was going to do as an entrepreneur, but I knew I needed something of my own. And it didn't come till later because I eventually went back to work. But it was it was in a place where it allowed me to finish school. I knew that was what I needed. So so that was my proverbial straw. And so I heard you say that you quit. But then, hey, Leanne is our resident self-care strategist, and she's Wake Up Happy Sis. You met Leanne a
Hey,
few months
Leanne.
ago. Leanne
That's my little
Dulce,
sister.
Dulce and Lay, okay?
Yeah.
She is our on-air personality. She airs on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I heard you say that you quit, but then it sounded like you went back.
Not to the same job.
Okay.
So real estate, bomb profession. I got in at a phenomenal time. Okay, well, literally all you have to do is wave your card, and you got business. So it was the first time I made six figures. I mean, I was buying buildings. I mean, it was phenomenal. But we all know what happened. The Great Recession happened, and I always say this. I was like, my hustle was so strong, I would have been on point. But literally at the height of it, and it hit Chicago hard, I was diagnosed with cancer. My insurance was crap because I just thought I was just so healthy and I didn't need the top tier insurance. Okay. Like, what? I'm healthy. I work out. Like, I eat well. Like, and then boom. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I had to have the surgeries. Did not have the best insurance. It's not like real estate wasn't popping. I was like, oh, snap. And so I had the first surgery. And then 3 months later, they were like, well, you're pregnant, so we can't continue on with your treatment. And because you have a shortened cervix, newly operated on cervix, this is going to be a high risk pregnancy. So you're on bed rest. Well, that went the hustle. Any hustle I had left.
You were just
the whole pregnancy.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Wow.
If you don't move your feet, you don't eat when you're in the middle of a pandemic and your main profession is real estate. So that was pretty much all the income. I still managed to squeeze a few out through referral fees. I remember being in labor, literally negotiating a contract and closing another one, just trying to squeeze out something in labor, right? I'm in the hospital.
Talk about
man, that's how serious I was. But I knew at the time when I went back to the second surgery and I kept seeing the bills, it freaked me out because insurance wasn't paying it. Wow. And another thing is that I had so much ego, I didn't want to go down to the public aid office. I went down there one time. A sister was super rude. Everybody I encountered was a hot mess, looked down on me. I looked around at the people as if I was better. Okay. Like, what am I doing here? You work too hard. You made six figures. Oh, you can get it right. This is not where you belong. Not that I was better than you, but I felt like I achieved too much to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stupid. Ridiculously crazy. And so even when people in my community say this, I'm like, look here, did you go get the assistance? I'm like, let's talk
because everybody what you don't realize is the taxes that you pay out of every check.
We pay for it.
Go to they go to those services. So you're not looking for a handout. You're looking just for a hand up until you get back on your feet. Now, when you start moving into the system, then that's a whole totally different story. But if you need it, use it.
Yeah. So I was humbled real quick, especially when I found myself over $500,000 in medical debt. All that add up between the surgeries, the treatments, the medication, labor and delivery. And my insurance didn't even cover labor and delivery at all. And I didn't find that out until the last minute. And so it takes a piece of, it was a good old piece of humble pie. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna have to file bankruptcy. Let's start from scratch. I did go and get that public assistance. Okay, I got humbled real quick. You have to realize that you don't know why people we know why people act the way they act in office. They encounter all types of personalities. They don't know how to differentiate you from anybody else. The attitudes and personalities that kind of be like, oh my God, they had me. What are you doing here? We don't know their story. Right. But I had to get to that place first. And it's a shame that I was one of the people that always have to hit the rock bottom before they learn a lesson. That's me.
Okay. Listen. And that'll be a lesson you'll never forget that lesson. You done got a PhD in life.
Yes, I have.
Rock bottom breeds humility. Trust me.
Yes. But now that taught a lesson. there will never be a situation where I allow my ego or my pride to not allow me to get the help that I insist that I need.
That's
Never,
right.
never,
Right.
ever, ever.
Yeah.
And so then what happened? Had to file bankruptcy, had to sit and say, okay, how can you ensure you're never here again? Like for real, for real. Because I
Right.
could have blamed it on, the cancer. I could have blamed it on the recession because those are good, legit external factors. But even
Right.
before then, what else didn't I do? I didn't get the proper insurance because I was being cheap and wanted to spend my money the way I wanted to. I wasn't
Yeah.
properly managing my funds. I didn't get the assistance that I needed that could have left me with my assets and money in my pocket because of my pride and my ego and my unrealistic expectations. And so therefore you found yourself in the amount of debt, more money than you were even making. Okay. I was in debt. I had myself filing for bankruptcy, which I never thought I would file in my life. Here I was, a new baby, new marriage, lost all my properties that I was bragging and flossing off of. And now you're broke and about to lose your primary house. That's where I found myself. I had to sit in that.
Yeah.
This is where you are now.
Mhm.
How do you make sure you never get here again?
Yeah.
At that point, I was like below low. The ego was absolutely gone. There was no ego no more. Now I was down. I remember I was talking to my mom. I just feel like a failure. I was, tearing up about to cry, and she bust out laughing. She laughed. That's my mama. There is no sympathy. She literally started laughing.
Okay,
And that's
Mama.
what she told. She was like, listen, because she's disabled. She was like, you have your health. You're here. You're moving. You're breathing. You have opportunities. You got a man.
Wait, it ain't mama if she don't throw that and you got a man.
You're not by yourself. You're not doing this by yourself.
Right.
Then she said, have you prayed
Oh.
while you're trying to still figure it out yourself? And that's what I knew I hadn't quite let go of what? Tried to rely on myself. That was even more I told you I always got to get knocked upside the head before I was like, okay. But that was it. And many people say, how did you go from, where you are in bankruptcy to like where you are now? And I said, before I even start focusing on the finances, I had to heal myself.
Yeah.
I had to check myself too.
Listen.
I think.
Leanne is wherever Leanne is listening from, she is clapping because she is big on women healing themselves.
Amen.
She loves for
Truly.
people to heal themselves, but her slogan is "Wake up, happy, sis." And in order
I
to
love that.
happy, sis, you have to go through a healing process. And someone that I spoke to today, when she speaks about where things fell apart in her life, she can't talk about it without crying. And that tells me that she has not healed from it. And until she forgives herself, she's like, I did. I said, you did not. You may have forgiven yourself that time, but you're going to need to turn around the next day and forgive yourself again and again and again until it eases out. Because and I'm no scripture quoter for real, but I know where to go find the things. But it says that how many times should I forgive my brother? 7
Woo! Come on,
Come on, no,
7 times 7.
he says 70 times 7. And that's every day. If you got to forgive him that many times, you got to forgive yourself even more, because it's your peace. It is your sound, it is your equity, it's your longevity, it's your health, it's your hair, it's your skin, it's your good night's sleep. And if you don't get those things, you're going to toss, turn, you're going to fiddle with something that you can't do nothing about.
Amen.
So yes. Oh, child. She said she had
Girl
to
almost passed the basket.
She
That almost
really
had me passing the plate.
Listen.
Woo! Let's do a love offering. We're going to do a love offering. Sha-na-na-na-na.
I can't with something.
Oh my goodness.
So listen, I have heard so much, but let me take this moment to thank Paulette. She is listening. She is listening and tuning in and commenting in the comments. So we thank you guys for anyone who is asking questions. This is about you, your participation as well. As you can see, Paulette is gracing her very own magazine, Brownstone Living, during the month of March. Meet the First Lady of Brownstone Worldwide, former member of Arrested Development, in case you did not know. Okay, let me stop before she be talking about me. But I love that she has the fortitude to continue on creating a platform for us to be able to have a way to speak our truth. Right. And Nativa, you're in the financial services. I'm in the financial services. People are probably wondering, really? She's putting, yes, I'm promoting my girl in the financial services because there are 1 billion plus people in the world. And guess what? I can't serve them all. She can't serve them all. But if we want to see Black Wall Street take place again, I got to have some place to send them.
Amen.
You got to have some place to send them. And what I love about Nativa, not only has she been my unannounced, informal, always existent accountability partner in our own way, I still work with her on her platform. So we're going to talk about her prosperity partners. Hey, and listen, and they love me over there. I don't know why. I be beating their head in. I talk about them like 40 going north and tell them, get your act together.
That's how we roll.
Ask Nicole for this? Can you ask Nicole to talk about that? I'm coming, sugars. I'm coming, because it is a way for us. The majority of her clients are Black women. Not all. She got some people that classify somewhere else, and it's okay. I love y'all too. But when I can sit down and look at people that look like me, that is the foundation of the Brownstone Worldwide, to be able to change the narrative for our Black and Brown community. So I thank you, Paulette, for forging through that, because as an entrepreneur, we all know being an entrepreneur ain't easy. It is not easy. So Nativa, let's come forward. Let's talk about some of the good things. Okay.
All right.
What has being a 6-figure earner, and don't y'all dare ask what 6-figure bucket she fall in. It ain't none of your business. Okay. But she's 6 figures, baby. She's 6 figures. What has that afforded you, for you and your family? How has that changed your life?
Oh, wow. Well, I can tell you just the 100K to me is not true 6 figures, because once you do the taxes and all that other stuff,
that's right. That's right.
Come on,
is always around about.
Teach our people, please.
You know, it's 6 figures.
Thank you. It's a difference. It's a difference.
So those 6-figure, let's change that first. And one of the things that I love to talk about with my partners, as you mentioned, we say partners, okay? We from Chicago. We say partners, okay?
That's how we roll.
And to change the narrative of what 6 figures is, okay? But one of the things that it's allowed me to do is, well, number one, the mindset to get there is something else. Right? Like I made it in real estate, that was easy. But with personal finance, and you probably can say this, you got to kind of work a little bit differently in personal finance, especially since mine is such a purpose. I call it my ministry because I am working with women who look like me. Most of the women who come in and teach and coach are also women who look like us. And I know exactly what they're going to from the woman, you know, I'm from the west side of Chicago, single parent household. I call it La Hood. Your hood. A little bit of that into it. Hood. And there's a certain shift that has to happen in order for us to go through that step, because we're carrying so much of the past trauma and that we didn't even experience ourselves and go through. We're carrying other people's money stories, other people's money beliefs. We're carrying the opinions of others and all of that good stuff. So literally, like I said, healing myself, working on myself, getting the help that I assisted, it really allowed me to know what to talk to my partners about, going from that level of comfortability and what we know into the fear zone so we can go to the growth zone, that uncomfortability. So that's number one. Being able to profit from my passion is number one, and grow a flourishing business, being able to help other women who look like me also benefit from the platform that I have so they can grow theirs from their viewers, from, you know, earning more profits, being able to Like we bought our house in cash, more than one. We bought investment properties in cash. We've moved internationally in cash, okay? And just to know what lifestyle feels like and not have my lifestyle defined by others. Remember, I talk about that personal work, being able to sit back and really define what I want, what brings me happiness. Yeah. And so the braids, I was telling my community today, the braids didn't come about because I love braids. They came about because I realized, you know what, this short hair is sitting me in this seat 2 times a week. I'm losing a lot of my time. My time is valuable. I'm an entrepreneur. What would I rather be spending my time with? That wasn't it. What does peace of mind look like?
Yeah.
I have to really define that. What does happiness feel like? You know what I'm saying? And for me, I love travel. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to see a lot in my closet. Remember, I said I do like to travel, but you're not going to see a lot in my closet simply because I like to go too much and we move a lot. If I see a big place, let me go. Okay.
1, 2, and then the big one. Okay.
It's a moment before that, but if I see a new place and it speaks to me, I'm like, all right, time to go. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to see a lot of things in my closet. You're not going to see me rushing off to get groomed because that doesn't align with me and my values.
Right.
However, I coach women, I coach us, so I know that they align to others. And so one of the things I always say about personal finance and this journey to what wealth is really defining what that looks and feel like for us. Mm-hmm. And so 6-figure realm looks temporary because I'm on to 7. Okay.
Wait a minute. You heard what she said. She says temporary because she is on her way to 7. So when I tell you guys to write your goals out and write the vision and make it plain, on her wall somewhere, on her, wherever she hangs her vision board, wherever she's looking at, she is looking at 7 figures. It's not just the number. It's like, what does 7 figures afford me to do? Because see, she got 2 little ones. And you know what they will not do? They might work in the family business, but they're not going to have to get a job. They're learning entrepreneurship from a young age. They're learning the value of $1. So it's not just that she's saying that she's making or made or will make, however she wants to phrase it, whatever it is, ain't none of your business, multiple 6 figures, because that's going to now take her to 7 figures. She's also changing the narrative of the young Black men that she's raising. Come on now, girl, keep going. Keep going.
And just to add, mindset shift is just as valuable as giving someone a good financial foundation.
Absolutely.
You know how many money lessons we learn from our families and how we carry in the conversations around money that we have and how that impacts our future now? Imagine just shifting that.
Right.
We're living in abundance. Money is endless. I can, you know what? I write my own checks. I tell our family we are our own bank. We can always earn money. Money is earned. Actually, no, I won't even say money isn't. Money is created. Let's stay there. Money is created. It isn't earned. Money is created.
Don't get mad.
We think it's earned. We always think the hustle, right? Money is created.
We hustle all the time.
Exactly. Money is created. And so the general wealth starts with conversations. It starts with lessons. There's a lot of, like we teach. I always tell, please pass it along to your children. Invite them into the conversation about money. Let them know your mistakes. Yes. And if they don't listen, we know how kids are.
But you know what?
They can revert back to the lesson.
The what you're showing your kids, because they're going to emulate what they see you do. So I don't care what you tell them. What are you showing them? Mm-hmm. Because you can tell them to save. If you're not showing them how you're saving, there's no lesson there. Okay, so that is so your boys are modeling and will model your example. They may hear you, they're going to hear you, but they're more than likely going to follow what you do.
Oh, they're entrepreneurs. They don't even think job. They don't even think job. They're entrepreneurs. And I let them know whatever it is that you want to do, let's just create the strategy.
Oh, see, and this is why, you know, in her Credit on Fire as her prosperity partner, that's what they hear. They'll tell me, hey, we're going to do this 1, 2, and 3. What's the strategy? Oh, then you're not doing anything. You're just talking. What's the strategy? And that is the same when we look at whether, no matter who you use for services, right? Because there's some folk out there that forever say, I can help you make six figures. I can help you make six figures. Ask them what the strategy is. If they can't, if they look at you like, no, you're going to do this step, run. That's how you step. Run. Because if I can't give you a strategy on how to reach your goal, what we doing? We can play Ring Around the Roses for free. I'm just saying, we can do that for free.
I'd rather you not waste my time, though.
Tell them, Tony. Say it again.
Really, I'd rather you not waste my time. If you ain't about to help build me up, please don't help tear me down.
Listen, what Auntie Tab say? You have a great day, but if you can't, don't ruin nobody else's. Some of these so-called six-figure who can teach you this, that, and the other, they need to understand that you're out here promising the world, and what our platform is here to show you is that yes, you can have the world, but it comes with some responsibilities. It's not gonna fall in your lap. If it fall in your lap, it ain't real. We can all dream, but when it comes to, I tell people, I started my career when I was on the 9 to 5 working for the state in child support. And when I talk to the non-custodial parents, they got all this fluff and stuff. And, non-custodial parents ain't always the men. Let me put that out there. It ain't always the men, because these grandmamas got custody of these babies because neither one of the parent got their stuff together. And they will say all these bad things about the custodial parent. And my thing is simply this. Yes, you have rights to this. You have rights to this. You have rights to this. But with each one of these rights, there's a responsibility. There's some things that you have to do to keep these rights, to exercise these rights. And if you forego your responsibilities, you can't have the rights. It's just that simple. So if you want to play hard like an entrepreneur, if you want to play hard like somebody who's making multiple six figures or seven figures, that means you got to put in the work. Those are the responsibilities. That means, come on, let's talk about this for a minute, because sometimes people think it's all fluff and glam. Give them a few things about the ugly side of entrepreneurship.
Mindset is one. I think that is the number one thing that kills the potential in a lot of great business ideas, great services. The mindset, that's number one. Number two, not clearly. I think because people think it's so easy, because many people go and they only promote their wins. They only promote their successes, or they promote the idea of the success that they wish they had but don't. But if they speak loud enough and brag loud enough, then other people will follow. Right. They don't tell you about their, I don't really have, a niche. Like some of the Instagram and TikTok people, we found some of them didn't really know who their target audience was. They didn't really have a niche. They didn't really know how to go out there and do, but they were speaking loud enough. And then when it came to having a concrete product, there was failure. But even aside from them, if you're looking to achieve a consistent 5 figures, consistent 6 figures, moving on to 7, I would love for you to really identify who you serve, what their pain points are, what do they need, how you can fulfill that need. And then therefore, when you are out here promoting, marketing, targeting, you're speaking directly to them. For me, I'm a community or social selling, I guess they call it these days. And that's when you build the community, find out all of their needs, and then you serve it to them.
Right.
So that was for me. So find out how you will attract your clients to you. Are you going to build community and then service your community that way? Are you going to be somebody that's just going to use TikTok, whatever social media? And then also think about the offline marketing ideas. I think so many people, I coach credit coaches, credit repair companies, things of that sort, people in financial coaching who want to kind of build their business up to 6 figures and a go. We call it 6-figure CEO, right? And so one of the things they always do is hurry up and rush and flock and be social media famous. I would rather I know so many 7 and 8 figure people who have very few following on social media. Hello. And that's because they've leveraged their offline marketing. I would rather you be hood popular then Instagram popular. So, YouTube popular, TikTok popular. There's so much money and a difference that you can make in your community doing what you do. But because we rush to look good and to style good and to instead of being good, we miss out on the potential. You can have both. Don't miss out on that's one of the things I miss with living internationally now is that the local, I call it hood popular. I miss that. I miss being in because you connect with other business owners. You connect with people in your community. People know you and they know what you value, what they come. So now you become that person who does real estate and sales in this area. That person who helps people fix their credit. That people who can help me, that person who can help me budget. And then you're networking. You're going to events. You're showing up. You're being active. You're not just going online. Imagine if you can bring your online community offline and your offline community online. It should be a happy marriage of them both. Your community is your community, and everybody needs to be on your email list. Okay, you always email list. If I can tell you one thing, get everybody on your email list. I have way more people on my email list than I ever have on any social media network I combine. Why? Because I lost my platform. I know what that feels like. I said I will never build a community solely on somebody else's platform again. I own every contact. I own every name. I own every telephone number. And even when you do in-person events, what are you collecting? Their information. And then you're nurturing them.
Right.
You're communicating with them on a regular basis. I keep people saying, what do I email? What do I say? You don't know your audience then. Ask them what they need. What are their pain points are? This is what I do. What do you need? How can I serve you? What's going on? Come on, let's have a chit chat. Let's go online. You bring them up. Come on, I'm having to get together. I'm going to connect with this person. I heard you're looking for this and this. We're going to get together. We're going to get you right. And then after that, what do? You present the offer. It's easier to sell to people.
The value of networking. I love it. I love it.
To sell to people who told you exactly what they want and what's going on and why they want it. Now you're just offering a solution.
Right.
And do it often.
What you said, make more offers. Listen, Nativa has dropped some gems for us. And if you are a business owner who is on the fence about starting your own business, if you don't give your gift to the world, the world is missing out, and that's on you. Because God did not give you that gift to keep for yourself. Okay. You are not given that skill set to keep to yourself. Gifts are meant to be shared. All right. So the other thing that I want to point out is when you think about entrepreneurship, right? When you think about entrepreneurship, you're at home, you're working from home. You don't get out to connect as much as you would like, right? But now you connect with other business owners. This is the value of community. This is what she's missing. She's missing connecting with business owners, but she's missing going down to the corner store. And along the way, she didn't drop 5 business cards in 5 people's hands, right? She doesn't get the chance to do that, but she working the heck out of her email list. And you know how I know? Because I'm on it, okay? And I be looking like, ma'am, didn't I just see you about 2 hours ago? But then you know what? This is what I look at. She's doing the right thing because behind her email or in front of her email is Bath and Body. And they emailing me just as often as she is. So if she can keep up with Bath and Body, she can get the money like Bath and Body. She can get that money like Bath and Body. So, Nativa, let's we're gonna get here ready as Paulette laughs at me and say we're gonna get to the final round and get to the closing remarks. How do your boys feel about mom being an entrepreneur? How has that changed? How has being a full-time entrepreneur at home changed how you interact with your children?
They don't really know any other side except for the oldest. I started working in my business when he was 3.5, my oldest. He's 13 now. And so they don't know, right? I know, right? Yeah, you old, Nicole, not me. But you getting old.
They getting old. We just getting better.
I'm vintage. I ain't claiming that. I'm vintage. I'm,
So
yeah.
they don't know any different. And so when the business grew to the point where my husband came home, that was in 2016, 2017,
Hold
something like
on,
that.
hold on, hold
So
on,
now,
hold on. Hold on. You can't skate past that. So wait a minute. Did you have Brother Malcolm fire his job, fire his boss too?
you know what? When we moved to North Carolina, remember we were going to do Texas, then North Carolina. I was like, listen, because the pay grade is is different from the South than it is in Chicago.
Hey, look. Hey, man.
So I was like, look, we ain't going backwards. I was like, let me tell you what I need help with and what you have to learn. Okay. I need these automations. I need these funnels, the grid locked. I need this. I had a list. This is what you need to learn to make the business grow.
Wow. So you did look like Sister Tam when she walked her husband up off his job.
Listen, I would have popped Wendy. She read her so good though. I mean, that's Tab boy. She is a class act. When she got through with Wendy, everybody was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to go back and watch it a couple of times because there was some moments when she took a breath and had a smile. I inserted some words on her behalf.
Listen, did she? My God. I was like, yes.
Yeah, like,
yes, girl. Yes.
Just got right back in Zen mode.
I know. You have a good day.
Yeah. Like,
oh my gosh. Okay, well, let me finish your question. Listen, they don't know anything else. But one of the things that we work hard. I'm not going to say that. Like we just started kind of not being able to work as much. But then during launches, we go hard. Like we're in the middle of a launch now, right?
Right.
And so one of the ways that we construct our business is through cycles. And so for you business owners out there, we have a 12-month calendar. I know exactly when the launch dates are. I know when the busy months are going to be. I know when my vacations are going to be. And I know when we're going to do evergreen. And so for service-based businesses, you always want to have something that you're offering that doesn't involve you giving it. So for us, it's products, it's courses, it's standalone things that doesn't involve me at all. It's affiliate programs. So I even told Nicole, listen, what you got going on? Because you're going to be in that. Anytime
I'm in the family, y'all. I'm in the family. But while she's talking about what she has coming up, I'm going to show her website. You guys need to get on over there. She's got a Dominate Kit. Yeah. You see what that say? Go over
Thank you. Yep, that's Dominate Your Finances. But that's it. Thank you so much. But that's what we do. We work on cycles. So they know when we busy, listen, back up. When we got the evergreen stuff going on, let's go on vacation. What do you got going on with school? What projects do you have? So they kind of have that mixture and it gives you kind of a breather. Otherwise, with your income, you're going to recognize that you got launches and the income is up here, then it's zero. Launches, the income up here, then it's zero. You need that evergreen in between to create some continuity of income coming in between the big launches. And then you budget off of the average of above. You account for the operations. You account for advertising because you advertise big during launches. You understand me? That is bank. So you account for all of that.
That is the budget, not part of. That is the budget.
Thank you. So yep, that's kind of all they know. They know mama working. They be like, okay, what's on the calendar? So where we going? What's on the calendar? So right. Do this, and this. Like
when they were in school, when you were in North Carolina, when they were in school, how active, being an entrepreneur, did that allow you to be more active in the school activities and things like that?
Let me be real with you guys. I hated going up to them kids' school. Like I know parents love that, but I could not stand it. Because they will always put me around other kids. I'm not a kid person. And I know I love y'all kids, people in my community who may see this, but that's because we partners. That's because you guys are like family. But anybody else, like, I'm not trying to be around the kids, being on the field trips. I'll be like, you need me to bring some food? You want me to pay for something? I'll give you as much money as I want.
I do the snacks. I do the snacks.
But you want me to go where? Oh,
that's gonna sound so bad to some of you, but that's me. I'm the one that will volunteer the supplies, the food, the money, donate. What do you need? Do not ask me to come up there and be around other people's kids because I can't discipline them like I would mine. All I have to do is give mine a look.
That part right there.
And the look don't work. And I have to think about the things I want to do to you. I don't need to be there. So I'm not somebody.
Yeah. See, I'm a Bernie Mac fan on that part right there. I beat a kid up. Hit him in the throat in the stomach.
They didn't expect mama to come up to the school. They'll get dad before they get beat. They'll be like, oh, you think your mama called? They'll be like, please no. Don't no.
Call my dad.
Call my
Oh,
dad. Like even dad, even when issues would come up at the school, do not call my mom. It's for your own good. I'm trying to save you.
For real. I'm telling you, don't let that Tasmanian devil come up here.
Why did you wait until it got to this point before? And somebody else had to tell me, Mom, I was trying to help the people. She said they don't know what they're getting into. I said, Brianna, don't wait till they get. I'm trying to help the people.
That is too funny. Yeah.
So, yeah. So but the option is there.
Yeah,
and what
absolutely.
As people are working a 9 to 5, they got to ask for permission to take off and go spend the day at the kids' school, some kind of program, orientation, registration. You want to be there when they have the school play and those types of things. And sometimes that 9 to 5 has you locked in. So listen, you guys have to understand that entrepreneurship, when you are in that full time, you work harder for your own business than you do for someone else's. At least you should. And if you are in a situation where you're working a 9 to 5 and building the business, you have to have some balance. And one of the things that has helped me learn balance is what one of my coaches told me. She told me to stop being the MVP and become the MVP. I said, ma'am, I'm already confused. So please don't make it any worse. What you talking about, Cletus? She says, stop being the most valuable player and become the minimal viable producer. See, when you stop reaching for that top level of that evaluation, because see, when you're doing that, and I found this out the hard way when she painted that picture for me, I'm giving and giving and giving, but when I get home, I have nothing to give to my business. I'm exhausted. I can't think straight. All I can do is really get home to rest. But when I started following what she gave me, not only was I skipping around the office and singing, and I can't carry a note in a cup, but I was singing around that place. They was like, you okay? I'm like, I'm wonderful. But you know what happened is that the manager had a problem because I pulled all the way back. And what I discovered is that the overages that I was producing was covering for other people who were shortfalling consistently. So what I did was I stepped down to the minimums. Forget those, because you wasn't giving them to me. And as hard as I was working, you still weren't giving it to you. Appreciate it. You gave me that proverbial high five, but when it came down to what mattered, I was average. So if I'm average, I need to give you average work. And to get average work, Nativa, do you know how much energy I had?
I'm sure you did.
I came up out of there. I was like, you leaving? You leaving? I said, I'm already gone. This is just a figment of your imagination. I'm already at the house. I gotta go catch up. So, and it took a turn in my business. I was starting to see more production. I was starting to see more creativity. I was really just starting to again. Really, yeah. So it really does. So when you're learning how to manage your money, when you learn how to better your budget, stop looking at your budget as a negative thing. Like right now, Nativa is, as she sits here with us, she is just wrapping up the Boss Up Your Budget challenge, right? And them folks been getting it good. Okay. And so coming out of the challenge, they've got some time with me to actually do their budget, right? That's how we get it in. We get it in. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm already getting messages. Hey, this your class, right? Yes. Because now once they shift their mindset, when they start opening the doors of their business, they have a different view of how they work. Okay. So if you fix your finances and how you manage your money in your personal home, so wait a minute, didn't they have to name their home? Because they are.
Oh, yes. You give your family household a business name. Listen, we go in. We want to operate your household.
That's right.
Like your business.
That's right. So I am so glad that Nativa is here. I hope you got some gems. I hope you picked it up. If you did, I think you need to go back to the beginning and listen again. You can catch this on brownstoneworldwide.com. You can catch this on Girl Your Money Matters on YouTube and catch the lives. Go back and pick those gems up. You can, there is so many things that she has shared with us tonight that will help anybody, whether you are the CFO of the business at home or the CFO of your business and that's incorporated and that's incorporated that's incorporated. You know, I put that little thing out there so y'all don't have to do the 7-year itch like I did. You ain't got to do that. And so I'm so grateful for you coming on. These are relationships that I have built and shared and grown over the years. And last year, let me not do this again. Let me not do this again. Last year was the first time that I actually got to, Nativa and I got to meet in person.
We're balling.
Each other since 2010. And so we had no makeup. We had makeup on, but it wasn't where it was supposed to be. Let's just say that. It was, you know, that eyeshadow was now cheek shadow.
Oh my gosh, mascara. I was like, oh, it was good stuff though. I was like, I can't believe it. Okay.
She's really a person. So we had a great chance, you know, to share in person. I got to meet Brother Malcolm. That is her husband. So that's my brother-in-law. And you know, so it and then one of these days, with my passport. I got my passport, it's in my purse. I keep it ready in case I had to run. I keep it close in case I have to run. I'm gonna take a trip down there to this tropical land and see all this new house that they done paid for cash with, and see all this beautiful beach and coastal or areas. And I can't wait. Nativa, any last words before we head on? Anything you want to say to the people?
To the people, listen, it looks like you guys, if you've been tuning in on a regular, you have been getting some dope information. Excited to be able to come on here. Hopefully, you know, I'll see a few of you inside of my Prosperity Partners email community. So definitely take advantage of that kit because we are going to be coming in live. I always like to touch base with my partners. We have something called Prosperity Calls. You're going to see Miss Nicole on there. You're going to see some other people on there because I love to be able, I always say I show up to give and serve. I show up and I always, whether it's free or free, basically whether it's free or you pay for it, I'm going to show up and show out. I'm going to come and give and serve. So, and it looks like you guys, based on the comments, you have been working on mindset. I see generational wealth. I see business. I see West Side. Okay. I see all of this good stuff, which means that you are really diving into the purpose of what's going on in Brownstone. And I'm just excited to be a part of all of this magic, okay? Especially since all of us are from the Shawness. What are the chances?
Really, listen.
What are the chances?
What are the chances? What are the, from home of the Sears Towers?
I know.
So thank you so much. And DJ Tony, as always, I am so thankful and grateful for you sitting in with us, sharing your wisdom, and pointing out those good parts, pointing out them good parts. Do you have any, tell people where they can find you and any last words?
Yes, indeed. First and foremost, fantastic job, my queens, man, and I am honored to be here. My Chi-Town sisters, boy, we repping, boy, Chi in the house tonight. Man, you can catch me at the Eye of the Storm at www.spreaker.com. 7 days a week, I do request shows on that show because that's my baby. That's what God gave to me. You can also catch me every Saturday and Sunday at KCCR Radio, the Brownstone, where the rest of all of this month is nothing but female artist songs, man. And I've been hitting them hard. Man.
Yeah.
Man, I've been hitting them hard. So, man, my sister, thank you so much. You have dropped some pearls of wisdom. Like I say, I'm honored that it's coming from a sister who know about the struggles here in the Chi, who rose above it and elevated, you know. So for all of my sisters out there that think that it's not possible, Don't believe the hype because you looking at it right before your eyes. It happens. You got to trust the process. You got to continue to press toward the prize. And remember, we all we got. Thank you so much for that, boo.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Tony. I really do appreciate you. Listen, you're gonna hear some bomb music when you listen to Tony. Whether it's house music, and you know they don't do house
Favorite.
music like we do house music. Don't nobody know how to do house music.
Nobody.
Nobody know how to do music like they do in the Chicago and go. Okay, that's just hands down it. And the Tiva, there are so many things that I could say. Um, when we look at determining who we are going to emulate, who we are going to take advice from, it's none other. There's no other better feeling than to be able to say a black woman poured into me relentlessly. Okay, because she'll come up out of the blue. If we don't talk for weeks at a time, she'll come up out the blue. Man, where you at? What you doing? Oh, like that shit. Oh, and hey, how you doing? I'm like, after that reaming I just got, I don't know. I might need to go check on some things. But it is definitely a sense of telling me what it is that I need to hear, not necessarily what I want to hear. And for that, I'm thankful and grateful for all of your friendship and in your business, everything. So that little my sister, my sister. To all of our listeners and viewers, listen, we love being able to celebrate Women's History Month. As much as I enjoy looking back at the women who paved the way, the 22 women who marched as a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated a long time ago to ensure that they established a sisterhood and then passed on those gems to us for generations and generations to come. As much as I want to look back to the women of the civil rights movement, as much as I want to look back, I love all of that. Okay, that is part of my history. But when celebrating in Women's History Month, I also want to look at the current action takers, those who are standing here today, also making moves. So we've got the First Lady of the Brownstone Worldwide, Miss Paulette Clark, one of the original members of Arrested Development. She get mad when I say that. But that's okay. I love you anyway. Mwah. And being able to have this platform to influence, change, and create the narrative for our Black and Brown communities. I want to be to you, our audience, our listeners, what I needed when I sat in the same situation that you're sitting in. So I want to be the change. I need to be the change that I want to see in my community. So thank you again. I am the Nicole Johnson, founder and CEO of Girl Your Money Matters, which is affectionately known as the Gym, where we have all sorts of exercises to help you get financially fit. And before I let you go, I want to make sure that you guys know that coming up on the weekend of tax day, we are hosting our very own financial summit, Power Prosperity Legacy Summit. So there is the link for you to go ahead and get registered, get on the wait list. It is bit.ly Legacy Summit Gym, GYMM, and you can get in on the wait list so that you can start getting all of the information. As you know, I will be there talking to you about Girl Your Money Matters. Paulette's going to talk about some things that she's been working on over there in her lab. Nativa is coming back to talk to you guys about credit, and we have a special panelist who's coming, and I'm not going to tell you what she's talking about. You got to show up to blow up. All right. So as always, thank you guys for being here with us. We love you. And as always, remember, we all we got. Tell them, Tony.
You
Good
know we
night.
all we got. Love y'all.
We will see you on Monday. Have a good one.